Hello everyone. Today we'll continue to study osteology. In this part, I'll introduce the composition of all the bones in our body. First, let's see this software. Okay. Now you see is the bone of our body, and according the location, they are include the first one. You see on top here. This one is the bone of head. We name it skull. Here is the skull. And then is the bone of trunk. Here. This is the bone of trunk. The bone of trunk includes here is sternum. This one is sternum. And on two sides there are 12 pairs of ribs. Okay, all of them is ribs on two sides. From the sternum to vertebrae. Here is the vertebrae. You see, this long part. There are many vertebrae, and they will form a vertebral column. And here is the bone of trunk, and they will form a thoracic cavity. And here is the bone of upper limb. The bones of upper limb include scapular. This one on the back is scapular. In front of it is clavicle. And here is humerus. In your arm, in your forearm, there are two bones. The medial side is ulnar, the lateral side is radius. And here, all of them is the bones of hand. And then see the lower part. Here is the bone of lower limb. Lower limb. Include the first one is the hip. Include the ilium, pubis, and ischium. Hip. And here one. This bone is our longest bone. Femur. Longest bone. Femur. In the thigh. And in front of your knee, there is the biggest sesamoid bone. This one is patellar. Yes.
Patella.
Okay. And in your leg, there are two bones. The middle side is tibial. The lateral side is fibular. The tibia is very strong. The fibular is very thin. And then in your foot, it's all the bone of your foot. Okay. It's composition of the bone in our body. And today, we'll study the bones of trunk. Okay, go back. Let's first study the bones of trunk. There are three parts. First one is vertebrae. On the back, the vertebral column formed by the 26 vertebrae. Second one, in front of is sternum. And between the sternum and the vertebrae is 12 pairs of ribs on two sides, from the front to the back. Ribs. First, let's see the vertebrae. The vertebrae, there are 26, and according to the location, they are divided into cervical vertebrae in your neck, thoracic vertebrae in your thorax, lumbar vertebrae in the waist, and sacrum and coccyx in form your pelvis. And the number, cervical vertebrae, there are 7. Thoracic vertebrae, there are 12. Lumbar vertebrae, there are 5, and 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. Okay. You should know in a child, there is not 1 sacrum. There are 5 sacral vertebrae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'll draw some lines. You see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sacral vertebrae. In a child, it's 5 bones, but after 18 years old, about 18 years old, become an adult, these 5 bones will combine together, form one sacrum. So, before I said, in a child there are more number of bones than adult. This is one reason. Okay, and in a child there are 4 coccygeal vertebrae. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 coccygeal vertebrae, and become to adults, these 4 bones combine to one coccyx. This is one sacrum. So in adult, it's 2 bones, but in a child is 5 and add 4 bones. First, let's see the general features or general structure of one vertebrae. And this view is superior view of one vertebrae. Superior view. You see it's on the top. Here is the anterior, here is the posterior, here is the superior. From the top to see it. And in front of it there is very big mass. This one is vertebral body. There is a big body. Here is the big body. Okay. And on the back, there is an arch. Here, it's arch. Okay. The seminal circle is arch, vertebral arch. And between the body and arch, there is a hole or foramen. This one is vertebral foramen. And on the arch, there are many processes. Later I'll introduce what's the processes. And here, the foramen is one vertebral foramen. And all the vertebrae, they have the foramen. All the foramen communicate each other will form a canal, vertebral canal. Do you know what's the function of this canal? Or what structures in the canal? Yeah, spinal cord. Spinal cord in it. Yeah. Here. Now let's see other structures. First, on the arch. Here the arch. On the arch here is the connection with the body. We name it pedicle. A pedicle of vertebral arch. And on the arch, there is a superior articular process. This process will go upwards. And here, it's a long process go laterally. This one is transverse process. You see here is one process. There are 2 ones. Here is another process, transverse, right transverse process, and the left transverse process. Left superior articular process and right articular process. And here is laminal. This big one is the laminal. Laminal. Or it's a thin plate or thin player of vertebral arch. So the arch is formed by 2 structures. One, on 2 sides is the pedicle. On the back is the laminal. It's the arch. And here you see a long process go backwards. This one is spinous process because it's like span. Spinous process. So on the superior view, you can see superior articular process, transverse process, and spinous process. It's 3 process. And the total number is, this one is 2. This one is 2. This one only 1. Okay, now you see the number of the process is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there should be other 2 processes. You can't see on this picture. Now let's see another picture. Okay, it's a lateral view. Just now, you see here is superior articular process go upwards. Now you see here, there is the inferior articular process go downwards. And from this picture you see, this is the inferior articular process belong to the upper vertebrae. This is the superior articular process belong to the lower vertebrae. And the two processes, they are connected to each other, will form a joint. Here is one joint, interarticular joint between the two vertebrae. Okay, now let's see the number of all the processes. 2 superior articular processes and 2 inferior articular processes, also 2 on 2 sides. And the transverse process, also 2. Spinal process, only 1. The total number is 7. So there are 7 processes from the vertebral arch. This number you should know. Okay, now let's see it again. Here is the pedicle of the arch. On the superior border and the inferior border, there are 2 notches. Here is superior vertebral notch, inferior vertebral notch. And between the 2 notches will form another foramen. This foramen is intervertebral foramen. And what structure go out from here? Spinal nerve. And there are 2 foramen. Just now, let's go back. Here is vertebral foramen. Spinal cord in 8. Vertebral foramen. And here is intervertebral foramen. Not vertebral. Intervertebral between the 2 vertebrae. Intervertebral foramen. What structure go out from here? Nerve. Spinal nerve go out from here and connect with spinal cord. It's different. Okay? In the vertebral foramen is spinal cord. In the intervertebral foramen is spinal nerve. Now let's see some special structure on different vertebrae. First, let's see the cervical vertebrae. This is one classical cervical vertebrae. Also, you can see the body, the arch, the foramen, spinal process, transverse process, superior articular process. This is the general structure. Now let's see some special one. The special structure means only cervical vertebrae has. Other vertebrae hasn't. First, on the end of the transverse process, you can see there is a foramen. It's transverse foramen. It's near to the root of the transverse process. Only cervical vertebrae has transverse foramen. What structure in this foramen? Artery. One kind of artery. Artery's name is vertebral artery. Vertebral artery in 8. Go upwards along your neck. Again, finally enter to your skull, supply your brain. Vertebral artery in the foramen. At the same time, there is vertebral vein, artery and vein in it. And you see here is vertebral foramen. This foramen is very big, and the angle is triangle shape. Okay, and you see here is the spinal process of the cervical vertebrae is very short, not very long, and bifid means there are 2 spinal processes. Okay. From this picture, you can see what's the name of this artery? Yes, vertebral artery. Go upwards along the transverse foramen. Go upwards, finally enter to your skull. Now let's see the first cervical vertebrae, C1. C1 has another name, atlas. It's very like a ring, or circle. Okay. Has anterior arch, posterior arch, and lateral mass left and right lateral minds will form a circle. And on the back of the anterior arch, there is a foveal dentis. Foveal means a deep rise on the surface of bone. It's the inferior surface, anterior arch, posterior arch, and two lateral masses. This one is C2, the second cervical vertebrae. The second vertebrae you can see on the top, on the anterior arch, there is a dens. Here is the dens. You see this one is C1, a circle, and this one is C2. See? Here is C2. On the top of the anterior arch, there is a dens. It's very like one tooth, a dens. And the dens will connect with the foveal, will form one joint. Okay. And this one is a special bone, C7, the seventh cervical vertebrae. And this vertebrae has another name, is vertebral prominence, because the spinal process is very long. Now, please do a position. First, you please put down your head and touch the back of your neck. From the top to the bottom, you can touch all the spinal processes of your cervical vertebrae. And at the end of the neck, you can touch very prominent processes. This one is spinal processes of C7. C7 is most prominent, so we name C7 is prominent vertebrae of vertebral prominence. Okay, the longest one. Okay, now let's see the thoracic vertebrae. Thoracic vertebrae has body arch, at the same time has superior, inferior articular process. Here is superior, here is the inferior articular process, transverse process, and spinous process. At the same time, it has some special structure. Superior costal foveal, inferior costal foveal. Foveal means the depression on the surface of bone. At the end of, on the lateral side of the transverse process is transverse costal foveal. What's the function of the foveal? What's the function of the costal foveal? What's the meaning of the costal? Yes, rib. So this foveal will connect with rib. For example, there is one rib, and this rib will connect with the foveal. We will form a joint. They will form a joint. There is another structure connected with the rib also. And the spinal process of thoracic vertebrae is very long. You see, it's very long, and go backwards and go downwards. It's sloping, not go backward directly, not go downward directly. It's sloping, go backwards and downwards. Okay. There is foveal, costal foveal, and this is structure characters of the spinal process. Now you see the picture. You see here is the foveal, called the foveal, and here is the head of rib. They will connect each other, and this one is the rib. Here is the tubercle of the rib, also connected with the foveal, called foveal, and this foveal belong to the transverse process, and this foveal belong to the superior costal foveal. Okay, so the foveal is the connection with the rib, Okay, now let's see the lumbar vertebrae. From this picture, you see the lumbar vertebrae is very, very big because here lumbar is on the lower part. There will weight, with very big weight here. And arch, spinal process, they are very, very strong, very, very strong. Okay, is characters of lumbar vertebrae. The sacrum, this one is sacrum. In adult, it's a sacrum, but in a child, you should know there are 5 sacral vertebrae. Yes. And the sacrum, please tell me what's the shape of it? Yes, triangular shape. Triangular shape. And on the top is the base of it. Here is the apex of it. On the base, there is precise for words. This one is promontory. And this promontory will connect with the 5th lumbar vertebrae. On the top, here should be the 5th lumbar vertebrae. Okay, they will communicate each other by the intervertebral disc. Okay. On 2 sides is 2 ala. Ala means 2 wings on 2 sides. And on the anterior surface, there are 4 pairs of foramen. It's anterior sacral foramen. And this foramen will go backwards, communicate to the posterior sacral foramen. 4 pairs. And the sacral nerve will go anteriorly or go backwards through from the spinal nerve, spinal cord. And between the foramen there is transverse line. Okay, transverse line. And transverse line is formed by the sacral vertebrae. They will combine each other, will form a line between them. It's like a cartilaginous. Okay. Now you see this one is on the back. On the back, you can see the posterior sacral foramen communicate with the anterior sacral foramen, or they are the same foramen. They are the common seal foramen communicate each other. And here is sacral canal. Here is the upper opening of the canal, and in the middle there is a canal, and spinal nerve, sacral nerve, go downwards from here and then go out from the foramen. From the foramen go out. Okay. Okay. And here is the inferior opening of this canal. Here is sacral cornea, or sacral hiatus. And on the 2 sides, there are 2 small bones is sacral cornea. And this part is very easily be broken when you drop down, especially on the winter. There are many ice. Anchor carefully. You will drop down. This bone is very easily broken. At the same time, the coccyx very easily broken. And in the middle, here is the median sacral crest. It's crest in the middle. On 2 sides, there is auricular surface. It's very like our ear. Auricular, it means the ear. Structure like the ear. Okay. Okay.